In early June 2015, I started writing a video about my favourite game of all time, Shenmue. Apart from wanting to share why it was so special, it was a way to mourn the loss of its sequel, Shenmue 3, and vent my frustrations at Sega for holding it back. After all, myself and many other fans worldwide had, at that point, been waiting almost 14 years for the sequel to Shenmue 2, and I was starting to lose faith that it would ever happen. Of course, every once in a while there'd be a small glimmer of hope on the horizon, briefly keeping the dream alive. In 2004, Shenmue Online was announced as an MMORPG. It spent 3 years in development hell before being cancelled. And then, in 2010, Shenmue City actually released, as a mobile-only social spin-off for Japanese smartphones. It was discontinued 12 months later. Later that same year, series protagonist Ryo Hazuki became a playable character in Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. And as wonderfully nostalgic as it was to tear around on the bike again, it wasn't Shenmue 3. With every passing year, it seemed less likely that series creator Yu Suzuki would be able to continue his masterpiece, let alone finish it. And then it happened. A holy trinity of long-dead titles led by The Last Guardian and preceded by the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Shenmue 3 was resurrected live on stage at Sony's E3 conference. And fan reaction was insane. "14 years worth of hopes and dreams came alive and spread out over the internet. Over 69,000 backers donated to Shenmue 3's Kickstarter, smashing its $2 million goal in less than 2 hours, and going on to raise $6.3 million in total, breaking 2 world records in the process. But why? What made so many people donate so much to a 14-year-old game? What made Shenmue so special? And what is Shenmue anyway? There's a lot to consider, and I can only speak for myself, so I'll start by saying that it immersed me within its world so wholeheartedly that I still think about it to this day. It occupies this space in my brain where pop culture icons and oddities live, like a mental screensaver I default back to during quiet moments. We're at this point in time where video games have legitimized themselves as worthwhile pieces of media, comparable to TV and film in terms of emotional impact. And even with a long line of predecessors that tried to mix story and gameplay, I feel that Shenmue was one of the few that really got it right. The whole game is presented with such sincerity and care that despite its quirks, of which there are many, it still feels utterly genuine and unique. Of course, back in 2000 I didn't know any of this. All I knew was at the behest of my best friend Mohammed, there was a game that I needed to play. When he offered to let me borrow it, I had to ask him, what is Shenmue? It's not like the word itself meant a whole lot on its own, not until Shenmue 2 Disc 4, and given how long it's been since his reply, I can't quite remember what he said, but I'll try to sum it up as best as I can. On the outside, it's a highly ambitious game created by Yu Suzuki and Sega's AM2 team, and was first released on the Dreamcast in 1999. Along with its sequel, it spanned a total of 8 discs. Of course, in his excitement, Mohammed had forgotten to mention this vital number, and it wasn't until I was left hanging at the disc change screen that I realised it was going to be a lengthy process. Over a period of days or possibly weeks, he generously lent me all 8 of them, disc by disc. Not an easy task with our child-sized brains and lack of social skills, but we got there in the end. I don't know where Mohammed is now, but I hope he's doing well, because his generosity came at a time when I was in dire need of distraction, and this game absorbed my attention fully. As for what Shenmue is on the inside, it's a story about a young Japanese man named Ryo Hazuki, a Chinese stranger known as Lan Di, and 2 mysterious stone mirrors all tangled up together in a semi-modern myth. The common bond between them all is Ryo's father and mentor, Iwao Hazuki of the famed Hazuki Dojo, a name that appears almost 24 times in this script, and one that I have great difficulty in saying out loud. We're introduced to our hero on a wintry day in 1986. After returning home to find the Hazuki nameplate shattered and an unusual black car waiting outside, we follow Ryo as he investigates the disturbance. A break-in is evident, and with the elderly housemaid Ine-san lying injured outside, and the live-in student Fukuhara no match for the assailants, Ryo has no choice but to confront the intruders himself. He bravely enters the dojo to find his father in a tense confrontation with the Chinese stranger Lan Di, who, for reasons unknown, has come to demand the location of a mysterious stone mirror. Two thugs in black suits bar Ryo's way as his father refuses to give in to the intruder's demands, and a fight ensues that seems as if it's intended to humiliate Iwao as much as it is to prove Landy's power. Despite being a well-respected master of the Hazuki style, it's clear that Iwao is spectacularly outmatched in both strength and skill, and much to his son's distress, eventually falls injured. Ryo breaks past his captors to rush to his father's aid, but is effortlessly defeated by Landy, and the villain takes the opportunity to press his point further. Defiantly stoic in his refusal to give up the mirror, Iwao makes it clear that he's willing to take the secret to his grave, but in savage retaliation, Landy leverages Ryo's life as ransom. It's a cruelly effective ploy, and an unnerving display of raw power, and it's no surprise that Iwao finally relents, revealing that the stone mirror is buried beneath the cherry tree outside. The black-suited men leave the dojo to search, allowing Landy to reveal a more personal motive.
Do you remember Chao Sun Ming? Chao? That's the name of the man you killed in Moon Swan. It can't be you!
This is clearly unexpected, as although Hazuki recognizes the name, it takes him a moment to recognize the man standing before him, and I can only assume that the two of them have lived a scene like this before under different roles. True to his word, Landy allows Iwao to rise to his feet before letting the final blow fall, sending him irrevocably toward death, by which point the men in black suits return with their prize, and Landy takes claim of the dragon mirror. With their goals met, the intruders set out into the night, leaving father and son to share a final moment.
Keep friends, those you love, close to you. No. Father! No!
Now completely orphaned, Ryo is left grief-stricken and plagued by nightmares. Days pass, and with Landy still at large and the dojo now bereft of its patriarch, Ryo becomes the head of the house and makes the decision to hunt down his father's killer. This was supposed to be one long video, but due to unforeseen circumstances I'm going to have to divide it up into chapters, or risk postponing its release even further. Please remember to keep the comments section spoiler-free, and join me again next time where I'll be talking about why Shenmue feels the way it does. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.